Hello everyone and welcome back for another video. It's about cricket, lovely cricket, England v India. Let's hear how it's going so far. The second day of the sixth test at the Oval was a microcosm of modern test cricket, a frantic rollercoaster of emotions, fortunes and human drama. It was a day where momentum swung like a pendulum in a gale, where heroes were forged in the heat of battle, and where the game itself paid poignant tribute to one of its own. By the time the umpires offered the light and brought a premature end to the proceedings, India found themselves precariously placed at 75 for 2. This gave them a slender but significant lead of 52 runs, a position that seemed improbable just a few hours earlier. The match hurtled forward at a breakneck pace, leaving spectators breathless and setting the stage for a tantalizing third day. What a day it was! From the clatter of wickets in the morning session to the blistering counter-attacks in the afternoon, every moment felt charged with significance. The script seemed to be rewritten with every passing over. England began the day with the simple task of wrapping up India's tail, which they did efficiently, only to embark on their own dramatic collapse. India, having conceded a first innings lead, then responded with a fiery intent that put England firmly on the back foot. The day saw a staggering number of wickets fall, heated exchanges between players, and moments of individual brilliance that illuminated the contest and kept everyone gripped. Beneath the surface of the on-field action, a deeper narrative was unfolding. The day was dedicated to the memory of the great Graham Thorpe on what would have been his 56th birthday. This tribute, A Day for Thorpe, added a layer of profound meaning to the contest. It was a powerful reminder that cricket is more than just a game of runs and wickets. It is a community, a family that remembers and honours its heroes. The sight of players and fans wearing commemorative headbands was a touching gesture, a collective nod to a much-missed figure whose legacy continues to inspire. The spirit of the day was one of fierce competition intertwined with heartfelt remembrance. As the London sky grew darker, the state of the match remained tantalizingly unclear. Both teams had experienced periods of dominance and despair within the space of just a few sessions. England's bowlers had excelled, yet their batters had faltered. India's top order had stumbled, yet one young man stood defiant, riding his luck to seize the initiative. The game is now balanced on a knife's edge. The lead is small, but on a pitch offering assistance to the bowlers, it could prove to be decisive. Day 3 promises to be a moving day, one that will likely define the direction of this captivating test match. England's first innings was a chaotic and thrilling affair, a story of a blistering start followed by a spectacular implosion. Openers Zach Crawley and Ben Duckett came out with aggressive intent, launching a stunning assault on the Indian new ball bowlers. They raced to a partnership of 92, with Crawley smashing a 43-ball 52 and Duckett a rapid 43. It was exhilarating, front-foot cricket that seemed to put England in a commanding position. The Indian bowlers looked rattled, the field was spread, and a substantial first innings lead appeared to be a formality. The pair played with a freedom and confidence that suggested England would quickly surpass India's first innings total of 224 and build a dominant advantage. However, the game turned on its head in an instant. The dismissal of Ben Duckett, who received a fiery send-off from Akash Deep, triggered a dramatic collapse. From a position of strength at 92 for no loss, England crumbled. The middle order, so often the bedrock of this team, was systematically dismantled by India's relentless pace attack. Ollie Pope, Joe Root and debutant Jacob Bethel all fell in quick succession to the impressive Mohammad Siraj. Suddenly, the confident start was a distant memory, replaced by a sense of panic as England slumped to 195 for 5, their hopes of a big lead evaporating before their eyes. Amid the carnage, it was Harry Brook who stood firm, playing a vital and counter-attacking innings. His knock of 53 from just 57 balls was crucial in ensuring England did not completely surrender their early advantage. Brook played with calculated aggression, picking his moments to attack and ensuring the scoreboard kept moving even as wickets tumbled around him. His innings was a display of maturity and skill under immense pressure, dragging his team past India's total and into the lead. It was an innings that might prove to be worth its weight in gold as the match progresses, a lone act of defiance in the face of an Indian resurgence. Ultimately, England were bowled out for 247, securing a first innings lead of just 23 runs. While any lead is valuable, it felt like a missed opportunity given their explosive start. Prasidh Krishna was the chief destroyer for India, claiming his career-best test figures of 4 for 60, while Mohammad Siraj also finished with 4 wickets. The innings was a stark illustration of England's high-risk, high-reward approach. When it works, it is breathtaking, but when it falters, the consequences can be severe. The slender lead gave them a slight edge, but the momentum had undeniably shifted back towards the visitors. Armed with a slim deficit to overturn, India's second innings began under intense pressure, and England's bowlers were quick to capitalise. The towering Josh Tongue made the first breakthrough, finding the edge of KL Rahul's bat for just 7, a sharp catch taken by Joe Root at first slip. Soon after, the star of England's bowling effort, Gus Atkinson, struck a crucial blow. He trapped Siddharthan LBW for 10, a decision confirmed upon review, leaving India in a precarious position. At that stage, the tourists were still trailing and England's hopes were soaring. The home side's bowlers were disciplined, hitting their lengths and making the batsmen play. However, one man stood in their way, Yashasvi Jaiswal. The young opener launched a blistering counter-attack that wrestled the initiative away from England. Unfazed by the loss of his partners, he played with an audacious freedom that changed the complexion of the session. He took the attack to the English bowlers, finding the boundary with remarkable regularity and racing towards his half-century. His aggressive approach put the fielding side under pressure, forcing bowling changes and field adjustments. It was a brave and brilliant display of batting that not only erased the deficit, but also began to build a potentially match-winning lead for his team. Jaiswal's innings was not without its share of luck, a factor that could yet prove decisive in this tightly contested match. He was the beneficiary of 2 costly dropped catches that left England rueing their missed opportunities. The first was a difficult chance put down by Harry Brook in the gully, a sharp opportunity that went to ground. The second, however, was far more straightforward. A top edge flew towards fine leg, where substitute fielder Liam Dawson, seemingly losing the ball against the backdrop of the floodlights, shelled a simple catch. These moments of fortune allowed Jaiswal to continue his onslaught, much to the frustration of the English players and fans. By the time bad light brought an end to the day's play, Jaiswal stood unbeaten on a magnificent 50, scored from just 43 deliveries. Alongside him was the night watchman, Akash Deep, who had survived a tricky period before the close. Jaiswal's innings had single-handedly transformed the game. He had absorbed the pressure, ridden his luck, and put his team into the lead. His performance ensured that India ended the day in a far stronger position than they might have expected, holding a 52-run advantage and with their most dynamic batsman well set at the crease, ready to inflict more damage. The day was punctuated by significant individual milestones, none more notable than Gus Atkinson's first ever 5-wicket haul in Test cricket. The Surrey paceman was outstanding in the morning session, cleaning up the Indian tail with pace and precision to finish with superb figures of 5 for 33. It was a landmark moment for the young bowler on his home ground, a performance that rightfully earned him the applause of the crowd and his teammates. His efforts were instrumental in restricting India to 224, setting the platform for England's batting innings. It was a sign of a promising talent announcing himself on the biggest stage. Away from the field, the shadow of a significant injury loomed over the England camp. All-rounder Chris Woakes was officially ruled out of the match after dislocating his shoulder while fielding on day 1. The news was a huge blow, not just for this test, but for the upcoming Ashes series. Reports suggested the injury was serious, with medics struggling to reset the joint, raising fears of long-term ligament and muscle damage. A recovery period of several months seems likely, effectively ending his hopes of travelling to Australia. His absence leaves a significant hole in England's lineup, depriving them of a key player with both bat and ball. The intensity of the contest also boiled over into several heated moments. The spirit of the game was tested with verbal exchanges and aggressive send-offs. Akash Deep and Ben Duckett were involved in a physical confrontation after the opener's dismissal, while Joe Root and Prasid Krishna had a tense discussion that required the umpire's intervention. These flashpoints added another layer of spice to an already dramatic day. They highlighted the high stakes of the series and the passion with which both teams are competing, ensuring that every run scored and every wicket taken was fought for with fierce determination. Ultimately, the weather had the final say. A rain delay had already interrupted play in the afternoon, and as the evening drew in, the umpires deemed the light too poor to continue, shaving valuable overs off the day. This stoppage left the match finely poised. India holds the advantage, but England knows that a couple of early wickets on day 3 could swing the pendulum back in their favour. With so much drama packed into one day, from Atkinson's 5-4 to Jaiswal's blitz and the poignant tribute to Graham Thorpe, this test match has already delivered a compelling narrative with many more twists and turns surely yet to come. The next couple of days are going to be very interesting as well as exciting, and I can't wait to see how it goes. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done so, for more updates and to help the channel grow. Thank you.